that has captivated Virginia. Authorities have found and identified the body of Alexis Murphy. She is the teen who disappeared in Nelson County more than 7 years ago. Massive search effort never officially stopped. Nicole Livis has more on the case.
Philip, investigators say they found the remains just a few months ago in December and just got a positive ID earlier this month. Alexis Murphy was last seen alive in August of 2013 when she was 17 years old. She was seen leaving a gas station in Lovingston, Virginia, and was never heard from again. Police eventually arrested Randy Taylor, and a jury convicted him of her murder in 2014. He's serving 2 life sentence terms in prison. In a statement, Murphy's family said, quote, "Our family is so grateful for the continuing love, support, and prayers for Alexis and our family over the past 7 years. We were blessed to have her for 17 years, and her memory will continue to live on through us all." The family has also asked for privacy during this time. Nicole.
Nelson County teenager has come to a close after more than 7 years. Investigators found the remains of 17-year-old Alexis Murphy. 10 News reporter Jessica Jewell is following these breaking details. She's in Nelson County tonight. Jessica?
This case has been defined as one with more questions than answers. The big question that has haunted a family and had investigators on the hunt for more than 7 years. Where is Alexis? And tonight we finally have answers.
This is the last piece of this case, is bringing Alexis home.
A search that started in August 2013 is finally over. 17-year-old Alexis Murphy was last seen at a gas station in Lovingston, and more than 7 years later, we now know where her body was found. Investigators saying they located the remains in early December on private property near Stagebridge Road in Lovingston. The medical examiner confirmed a couple weeks ago that it was, in fact, Alexis.
Well, what can you tell us about what led investigators to this area after 7 years?
Well, the searches have continued throughout the 7 years. It's been continuous. There's always information that comes in from time to time. Some of those leads have been fruitful, but it's just branched out and just continued to go further and further north.
Nelson County Sheriff David Hill wouldn't go into much detail about these latest developments or why it took so long to find Alexis, simply telling us investigations like this involve many different factors and things to analyze. Despite the body not being found until now, Randy Taylor was charged with her murder and is currently serving 2 life sentences in prison. Sheriff Hill assures us the case is now closed. The focus now is on helping her family.
That promise was made to bring her home, and it's been fulfilled.
In a statement, the family says while we have been grieving the loss of Alexis since 2013, we remained hopeful that she would be found alive and well. We were blessed to have loved her for 17 years, and her memory will continue to live on through us all.
No one gave up. It's been continuous. The family, friends, the agencies that have been involved. It just means the world to us, and please keep us in your thoughts and prayers.
We pressed the sheriff for more information about where the body was found. He said he couldn't go into much detail because it was on private property, but did say he hopes to go more in depth, in his words, when time allows. Live in Nelson County, I'm Jessica Jewell, 10 News, working for you.
In case y'all didn't know, it's Black Girl Sunday. Celebrate your girl. We're not. It's whatever.
We hear about a lot of missing children, but there was something really different about Alexis. She was this social media star.
That was one of the alarming things. Does she have a stalker? Somebody following her?
One of the videos captures Alexis Murphy's vehicle pulling in. You can't really tell who's driving.
It was definitely unlikely that Alexis drove her car to some random movie theater in Charlottesville. It was still a lot of questions going through my head. What happened? Where is she?
Alexis has virtually disappeared off the face of the earth. It's just full throttle forward.
Taylor says he is going to appeal his conviction in the abduction and death of Alexis Murphy.
He's also saying people who took the stand for the prosecution lied in their testimony, and they are the reason he's behind bars. CBS 19's Chris Stover sat down with Randy Taylor for nearly an hour today. He joins us live with more. Chris.
Michelle, we covered many topics in our discussion. He says there are still too many unanswered questions in this case. He says he's not the one with the answers, but he responded with this when I asked if he killed Alexis Murphy.
No, I did not kill Alexis Murphy or hurt Alexis Murphy.
Do you know where she is?
No, sir, I do not.
And do you know what happened to her?
No, sir, I do not.
From the Albemarle-Charlottesville Regional Jail, convicted killer Randy Taylor maintains his innocence relating to the abduction and murder of Alexis Murphy.
There's just too many things that haven't been told for me to be convicted of murder of Alexis Murphy.
Taylor speaking exclusively with the Newsplex just days after a Nelson County jury convicted him of the crimes in a circumstantial case.
You can ask anybody that knows me, anybody in this jail, or anybody around here. I'm not an outspoken person. I'm not a violent person. I haven't been mean to nobody or disrespectful to anybody in here. It's what the Commonwealth's painted the story of me to be, and I'm not that person.
Taylor does admit to speaking with Alexis on the night she disappeared last August.
I smoked marijuana before, and she had asked me about smoking marijuana before, and that's all we were mainly talking about.
But he maintains a third person, Damian Bradley, was also involved, despite Bradley's testimony in court that he's never met Taylor.
I'm quite surprised, because that's not what happened. He knows what happened. He knows he was there.
Taylor remains in jail awaiting his formal sentencing this summer, but he says he's going to fight for his innocence.
Justice has not been done. There's two families hurting here now, her family and my family. And there's still no justice. There's still no closure. Until Alexis is found or returned to her family, and I'm free of these charges, there's no closure here.
You may remember Randy Taylor left the Nelson County courtroom shortly before the judge announced his sentence. Coming up tonight at 5:30, we'll hear his reaction to that and his words to the family of Alexis Murphy. Live in the Newsplex, Chris Stover, CBS 19 News.
In the Alexis Murphy murder case, Randy Taylor was just sentenced to 2 life sentences for the murder and abduction of the Virginia teenager. Murphy was last seen in August of 2013 in Livingston, Virginia. Her car was found, her body never recovered. Investigators found one of her hairs at Taylor's home. He was convicted back in May.
In May 2014, the murder trial of Randy Taylor commences. On behalf of the state, prosecutor Anthony Martin delivers the opening statement.
The prosecution was able to paint this really violent scene with the amount of evidence that was just found inside of his camper. Something horrible has happened.
But in their opening argument, Taylor's attorney takes aim at the prosecution's assertions.
The defense was constantly saying, there's no body, there's no murder weapon. They kept hitting on it.
His explanation of the hair extensions was the police planted it, but we knew that he was full of it.
After opening statements, the prosecution unloads its most potent evidence, an item discovered on a deeper search of Taylor's camper after his arrest.
One thing I will never forget is Randy Taylor's bloody t-shirt. Seeing the t-shirt covered in not just a little bit, but a lot of blood, you could tell the jury's mood suddenly shift.
Attorneys reveal the results of DNA testing on items found inside the camper.
And it was her DNA on the shirt.
We know that there was nothing casual about this encounter, that it was extremely violent.
After closing arguments, the litigators turn the case over to the jury. Within hours, the jurors announce that they've reached a verdict.
I was at volleyball practice. I remember looking online and seeing guilty. And I just busted out in tears. It was a relief, like kind of a joy for us, because you're going away. You're not going to hurt anybody else.
It was a few moments of the weight has been lifted. We have some type of justice.
We convict him on both counts of abduction with intent to defile and first-degree murder. And as the jury is leaving to go sentence him, Randy stood up in open court and said, "I'll take the original deal of 20 years and tell you where she is." And of course, it's too late at that point. He ended up with 2 consecutive life sentences and is currently at Red Onion spending the rest of his life in prison. So.